Hello students, welcome back to our Maths Online Learning with me, Miss Roina. In our previous lesson, we have learned about duration in hours and minutes, and for today, we will learn about other units of time, with the subtopics are weeks and days, years and months, centuries and years, and also other units of time. Why do we learn about these topics? I hope after learning this topic, you can understand how many days in a week, how many months in a year, and the other units of time. Alright, let's go to the first topic. It's about weeks and days. Do you know how many days in a week? Yes, there are 7 days in a week. How about in 2 weeks? 2 times 7 is 14. So there are 14 days in 2 weeks. How about in 3 weeks? 3 times 7 is 21. So there are 21 days in 3 weeks. Alright, let's see the first question. Now let me ask you, how many days in 5 weeks, 5 days? Do you know how to count it? Yes, we multiply the weeks first. We change the week into days. So 5 times 7 days equals to 35 days. Plus 5 days, 35 days plus 5 days equals to 40 days. There are 40 days in 5 weeks and 5 days. How about in 15 days? Now, if just now we change or we convert from weeks to days, now from days to week. How many week in 15 days? Okay, we can split them. We can separate them into days in a week and also the rest. So in 15 days, there are 14 days plus 1 day. 14 days equals to 2 weeks. 2 weeks and 1 day. 2 weeks, 1 day. How about in 38 days? How many weeks and days in 38 days? So we separate them. In 38 days, we can separate into 35 days plus 3 days. So becomes 5 weeks, 3 days. Alright, we go to the next subtopic. It's about years and months. How many months in a year? In a year, we have 12 months. In 2 years, we multiply by 12. 12 times 2 is 24. So there are 24 months in 2 years. How about in 3 years? Yes, correct. In 3 years, we have 36 months. Alright, now my question. In 2 years, 5 months, when we want to change in months, how many months in 2 years and 5 months? So, like the previous one, we multiply first. 2 times 12 equals to 24. 24 plus 5 is 29 months. How about in 15 months? Now we want to change into year. So we separate them. In 15 months, there are 12 months plus 3 months. 12 months equals to 1 year. So in 15 months, we change become 1 year, 3 months. Okay, now we go to the next subtopic. It's about centuries and years. Okay, 1 century. Do you know how many years in 1 century? In 1 century, there are 100 years. In 2 centuries, we just multiply by 100. 2 times 100 is 200. So in 2 centuries, there are 200 years. How about in 2 centuries, 54 years? So into centuries 54 years, there are 254 years. How if we change now in 306 years? So we separate them. 300 plus 6. 300 years plus 6 years. In 300 years, when we change into centuries, there are 3 years. It is 3 centuries, 6 years. Okay. There are some other unit of time. Okay. We can see from this table, 1 year equals to 365 days. And then in 1 leap year, there are 366 days. What is the difference between 1 year and 1 leap year? 1 leap year is happened once in 4 years. 1 leap year is happened in once in 4 years. Or in bahasa Indonesia, 1 leap year we call as tahun kabisat. Dalam satu tahun kabisat yang terjadi sekali dalam 4 tahun, terdapat 366 hari. And then in 1 year we have 52 weeks. In one decade we have 10 years. In 1 millennium we have 1,000 years. And in Indonesia itself, we have another unit of time. We have 1 lustrum. 1 lustrum terdiri dari 5 tahun. Dan juga 1 windu atau sewindu terdiri dari 8 tahun. Jadi, kalau 1 lustrum 5 tahun, bagaimana dengan 3 lustrum? Ada berapa tahun dalam 3 lustrum? 3 times 5 equals to 15. So there are 15 years. 15 tahun dalam 1 lustrum. Okay students, I think that's all for today. You can learn more about other units of time from your Math Champions. It is on page 165 to 172. You can practice by answering the question from your Math Champion. I think that's all for today. Thank you for your attention. See you and God bless you.